we will be free. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order.
January the 5th.
Okay.
Not to be confused with any other 5th. Or the 5th that we're drinking. Well, the last question.
Oh, here's the last question. Oof.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, more main motions.
Okay. Is this... Oh, God. I'm worried.
A main motion is laid on the table.
Oh, God. Not again.
Yeah, I know. His main motions get laid more than we do.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die.
That was a good joke. That's the best one I think you've done in our time together.
I'm not going there either, because believe it or not, there's nothing X-rated in what she said. If you imply it, then you're ridiculous because we're both happily married to other people.
Yeah.
Anyway, a main motion. God, I can't picture us married. That would be crazy.
Oh my God, I'd kill you.
You get this look from a woman, if you've ever had that look from a woman, like, oh shit, I'm gonna kill you later.
We may gripe like a married couple, but we ain't a married couple to each other.
Oh boy, Wayne. No, you probably kill me. Wayne has the patience of a saint. You have no idea how hard it is to be married to me. You might have some idea, you really don't.
I don't. But anyway,
okay.
Teach their own, and I wish you all the best.
No, I know that I'm hard to.
That's what he said.
That's what. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
A main motion is laid on the table, and not taken from the table at the same session.
Okay.
Okay. The main motion, A, cannot be renewed at the next session if the organization has no more than a quarterly time interval. You should get this one. To the next regular session.
We just talked about this, but it's not renewing. It's taken off the table.
I interrupted what I was saying. Let me
Okay.
say it again.
Okay.
And yes, I think you should get this one. A, cannot be renewed at the next session if the organization has no more than a quarterly time interval until the next regular session.
Wait, hold on. The way they word it, cannot. A, it's not a renew. I'm already probably ruling out A, but I'm so suspicious.
You want me to start over?
No. You can. But what did they say about the quarterly? They worded that like weird.
Okay. The main motion cannot be renewed at the next session if the organization has no more than a quarterly time interval until the next regular session.
So what they're saying is the next regular session is within a quarterly time interval?
I think.
They worded it in a weird negative way.
Right.
Okay.
B, cannot be renewed at the next session, semicolon. The motion to take from the table must be read.
What do you mean read?
I don't know. Or used. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I said that wrong.
Okay.
Let me restate that. B, cannot be renewed at the next session, semicolon. The motion to take from the table must be used.
I think it's B. Let's continue.
C, can be renewed at the next session regardless of the time interval.
That's definitely not correct.
D, none of the above.
It's not D.
Yeah.
I believe it's B.
No, it's not D.
And let me tell
Which one are you going for?
B. But I wanted to say why I didn't think it was A.
Okay.
Because the time frame's good, within a quarterly time interval, but it's not a renewal. It's not a renewal. Taking from the table is not renewing a motion.
Okay. For the purposes of discussion, explain the difference.
Well, I'm having a hard time. Like I was thinking that myself. Renewal means it's been disposed of already in some way, like finally disposed of, one way or another. It's no longer pending in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
When something's on the table, it's been put on pause.
Okay.
It's still within the control of the assembly as long as more than a quarterly time period hasn't elapsed.
Right.
It's not renewed because it didn't die. It's still there. It's alive and kicking. So any of those that talk about renewing it is automatically wrong. B specifically said a renewal can't be used, that you have to take a motion to take it off the table. And I believe that's correct. So I'm saying B.
Okay.
God, better be right.
And the answer's A.
Fuck it all, don't give a shit anymore.
Fuck! No, it isn't, is it? How? Did you understand my logic?
I understand your logic.
How am I wrong?
Let me reread B again. Cannot be, the main motion cannot be renewed at the next session, semicolon. The motion to take from the table must be used.
Is it because they didn't mention the quarterly thing? Is that why B is wrong?
I'm guessing that's the case.
But how is it renewed? If B's not right, then it's D. I'm sorry.
Okay, they say A. The reference is section 38.
These are really awful. We've had like one good question. It was the second.
You sure this is a good idea?
I mean, we're learning stuff.
Yeah, we're learning how bad it was before.
Oh my God. What
Okay,
was it?
3-4. Okay, section 38,
Uh-huh.
which is under renewal. Green tab.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm shooketh.
Okay, it is under, where the hell am I looking here? Conditions that may impede renewal at a later session, which is, oh hell, it's well after the standard characteristics. Motions that can be, what's that? Motions that can be removed from material progress. Okay, that's keep going. Next page.
Conditions that may impede. Okay.
Right, okay. This next section, main motions that go over to another session.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and it goes over to a sentence that starts with the word for, but I'm gonna read the whole section.
Yeah.
Okay. Main motions that go over to another session.
Uh-huh.
Motions within the control of the assembly because not finally disposed of.
Right, and that's what I was talking about, okay?
Referring to the second general principle stated on page 337.
Which is 38.3
says,
in the standard descriptive characteristics, I think, right?
Oh, we've been through this earlier. Any motion that is still applicable can be renewed at any later session, except where a specific rule prevents its renewal.
Uh-huh.
Such an impediment to renewal in a later session normally can exist only when the first motion goes over that session as not finally disposed of, in which case the question can then be reached through the first motion.
What? Okay, well, hold on.
Which then says go back to the page.
Okay, let's go back to there.
We have a circular reference going on here.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, because that one says go back
go
to 340,
here, and this says go to here. Yeah.
340 says go back to 337. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Referring to a second general principle, as we just wandered through, a main motion that was introduced but not adopted during one session can, except as noted in this paragraph, be renewed at any later session, excuse me, unless it has become absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Such exceptions only occur through one of the processes by which, from one session to another, a main motion can remain within the control of the assembly, that is temporarily but not finally disposed of, so that the same motion can be considered at the later session.
Mm-hmm.
4 of these processes, numbered 1 through 4 below, can arise only in...
where there's not more than a quarterly time interval.
Can arise only in cases of organizations where there is no more than a quarterly time interval, see 89 to 90, and will elapse until the next regular session. In such societies, a main motion cannot be renewed during the next session after a session at which it was 1. Postponed to or otherwise set.
But okay, these lists, what it is for...
That it can't be renewed.
It can't be renewed where...
In the next session.
I've got a headache. 4 of these processes, numbered 1 through 4,
right,
can arise only in cases of organizations where no more
than a quarterly interval.
So there will be a meeting within a quarter.
Right.
Okay. Continue. All right, got it.
Okay. Right. Will elapse until the next regular session.
Mm-hmm.
In such societies, a main motion cannot be renewed during the next session after a session in which it was 1. Postponed to or otherwise set as a general or special order for the next session. 2. Allowed to go over to the next session as unfinished business or as an unfinished special order. 3. Laid on the table and not taken from the table. 4. The subject of a motion to reconsider that was made but not finally disposed of.
No, I'm sorry. B was right. They might be arguing. No.
I think I understand why you want to call this a shitty question. I would agree. Because here's the problem. A has a double negative in it.
Well, that's not the...
Well, it confuses the hell out of things.
It does, but also they say a motion cannot be renewed, hear me out, if it was laid on the table and not taken from the table.
Yes.
Which means you have to take it from the table first. B, here, the motion to take from the table must be used. Now I understand where they're having the issue where it says it cannot be renewed. To me, taking it from the table is making it active again. This is bad.
I don't get their argument on A.
I
Because the main motion, it says the main motion cannot be renewed at the next session if there is no more than a quarterly time interval.
I might wait. Hold. Let me read. Main motion and not at the same session. Right. The
Right.
main motion.
It's laid on the table and then laid over, carried over.
So it's carried over on the table.
Right.
Okay. Cannot be renewed if they have if it's within the next quarter. Why? But okay, and they're saying it's A.
Yeah.
What?
Cannot be renewed
Okay,
at the next session if the organization has no more than a quarterly time interval
Right.
until the next session.
Oh, so what? But
Are they saying in A that it can't be renewed because it jumps to the next session?
I don't understand. It sounds like they're saying if you lay it on the table and you don't take it from the table, it's stuck on the table.
But then if the session at the quarter expires, and so does the motion.
Right. Then why even bother saying it's still
'Cause
there?
we talked about that before.
This is bad. I don't understand.
Well, C can't be right because if the next session, regardless of the time interval, doesn't make any sense because if the time
Right,
interval
then it's over.
overlaps quarter is DOA. So C we know is wrong, which means that doesn't exclude D.
It doesn't exclude D, right?
No. B again. What if the next session is in the next quarter?
The reason why I didn't pick A is because you can't do anything with it till you take it off the table.
Right.
But here, they're kind of saying you have to take it off the table at that earlier session. I don't get this at all. And like they're basically saying it's stuck on the table.
I agree. The motion take from the table must be used. I think the problem with B though is it says it can't be renewed at the next session. Because the problem is this. Okay, if the next session is still within the same quarter, okay, right?
Right.
Then
I'm assuming that in B.
Right, then you would have to the motion take from the table to put it back into play.
But that wouldn't be then a renewal because it was never disposed of. You can only renew something that has been disposed of.
I would agree with that.
That's what I
think it lies in the quarterly thing rather than renewal versus take from the table. Okay, what does it say to renew a motion? Let's take it from that perspective.
Yeah, oh my God.
I don't mind skinny.
Okay, here it's right here.
Oh,
If a motion is made,
what's that? 38.
yeah, talking about what a renewal is.
At the beginning. Okay, yeah.
If a motion is made and disposed of without being adopted, and is later allowed to come before the assembly after being made again by any member in essentially the same connection, the motion is said to be renewed.
But renewal, by definition, there says it's made and disposed of.
Right.
Is laying on the table disposing of it? I don't think so.
That's my argument.
Disposing of it to me would indicate that it's either passed or failed.
Right. Or objection to consideration of the question.
Yeah, postpone indefinitely.
Right.
Question. It has a conclusion to it rather than just sitting there waiting to be addressed.
And it says after being made again by any member. When a motion that's been made and seconded is put on the table, the motion doesn't have to be made again.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there, and it's still considered the motion as made by whoever made it originally and seconded.
Yeah.
Whoever makes the motion to take from the table doesn't all of a sudden become the author of that motion.
Right.
Of the tabled motion.
Yeah.
I am really confused, and I got to talk to the priest about this. I think.
Yeah, this is confusing.
I have a lot of questions, and particularly that thing in those four things here, laid on the table and not taken from the table. It seems to be saying it has to be taken from the table in the prior session, but if so, what's the point of even allowing that quarterly time interval? Why don't you just say it dies?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we want to do with this one.
I think we'll hold it in abeyance until we get better information.
This is.
I know it's a weird way to say it. But
Yeah, this is on hold.
yeah.
We need to.
Put a question mark on it.
Well, how do I draw a priest? Can I draw a priest? No, we're gonna
draw
put.
a bishop's mitre with a.
I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna draw a cross. Here we go. It's gonna talk to Jesus about this one. Here you go. Oh, you're gonna do like a Pope hat?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Oh, the art.
How's that?
That's good. Okay. Yeah. Oh my.
Although it almost looks like a gravestone, but still.
Why am I getting all the terrible questions?
I've not exactly been having the easy ones over.
Well,
there.
you had the second. That was the only good question.
What? What?
Okay. Well, here's hoping.
You shouldn't ask me good questions.
Oh my
You
God.
shouldn't ask me good questions, Caryn.
Favor! Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray. All opposed? You say nay. Opposed! Opposed! The motion carries anyway.